It's time for Right versus Left with Amandeep Bhogal, and we've got him back, Andy Twelves, trade unionist, and it's from my neck of the woods, actually, so you think it'd probably make a little bit more sense. Hopefully some common sense will rub off on you today. So look, is it okay to criticise a religion? Just this week in the House of Commons, there was a couple of Labour MPs who were banging on again about Islamophobia. I know Angela Rayner spoke about it quite a bit, and Sir Keir Starmer's always bleating on about it in the chamber. But just a few weeks ago, I asked the Deputy Prime Minister to actually define what the government's line was on Islamophobia. Just listen to this.
Lee Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Could the Secretary of State please explain to me and the House what the government's definition of Islamophobia actually is?
So State.
Well, I say to the honourable member that a new definition must be given careful consideration so that it comprehensively reflects multiple perspectives and considers potential implications for different communities. And we're actively considering our approach to Islamophobia, including definitions, and we'll provide further updates on this in due course. Right,
guys, you've heard the clip. I challenged the Deputy Prime Minister to give us, the correct government definition on Islamophobia, and she couldn't give me a straight answer. That's quite pathetic. Maybe you, as a Labour Party member and a defender of the Labour Party, can tell us what Islamophobia actually means.
Well, I'll address that in 2 points. I think, in fairness to I think she was answering in her capacity as Secretary of State for local communities, but it is open for consultation, so I think it is a bit unfair whilst a definition is up for consultation.
So how can you be Islamophobic then if there's no definition?
Well, no, I don't think you can. I think being anti-Muslim and anti-Islam is well established. And you'd just be being that. That'd be the definition that you'd be given. You'd just be being either anti-Muslim or anti-Islam, which I don't think is.
So, Aman, I'm going to ask you an obvious question. What's your religion?
I'm a Sikh.
Okay, so if I don't like the Sikh religion, is that a problem for you?
Not at all. I would defend your rights to not like it and to question it and to criticise it as much as you wish.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think blasphemy in this country has long been a national conversation that's settled. It's an issue that is settled. We do not have anti-blasphemy laws in this country, and we shouldn't, because very simple matter, we have freedom of speech, and it should be absolute. Yeah. But of course, and look, as a man of faith, I would also argue that every individual has a right to worship, right to pray, right to their religion as they wish, without fear. However, having said that, no religion should be above criticism or question. That's how reform happens. That's how things are settled in a meaningful way. But thirdly, I would also argue that we heard that Labour MP the other day talk of bringing in anti-blasphemy laws here for Abrahamic religions. That in itself is the very definition of division. What about the Indic tradition, the Dharmic, the Hindu, the Sikhs, the Jains, the Buddhists? Would it not apply to them? But having said that, I think more than that, I think if you're in the UK, you embrace our values of freedom, liberty and democracy, or you practice what you preach and go and live somewhere where the things you want are being practiced already.
You put that very politely. I just tell them to clear off, Andy. What about you?
Well, I mean, I don't support blasphemy laws. I think it's silly. It was a silly suggestion from that MP, some dozy backbencher.
It's not just that, it's a very slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope.
Because we've just seen the scenes in Bangladesh yesterday. We've had this coup in Bangladesh. We've gone from the Awami League, mostly sensible people, to this Islamist-backed Muhammad Yunus. And we've seen Hindus being killed left, right and centre. And yesterday, the main priest, the Hindu priest in Bangladesh, was arrested for what? For not having the Bangladeshi flag above the Hindu flag.
Why isn't the Labour Party calling this out, Andy? Sort of pandering to just a few in society. Like a man says, we are a tolerant society, we are a welcome society. We're not bothered what religion you've got, but a religion should always be open to scrutiny.
I agree. I completely agree. And unfortunately, Keir Starmer hasn't consulted me on this particular issue.
But I think what issues has he consulted you on?
I think it's probably
very few, unfortunately.
Is that none?
Well, I mean, I'm a Labour Party member. We've got internal democracy, so.
You mean he sent you an email once?
He did several times. I met him once at a reception. But surely, as a free speech absolutist, you must agree with his right to ask that question. And it's hard for you to go, oh well, no, this is all wrong. It's his right. He's got the freedom of speech.
Yeah, he's got every right to ask for it. I don't think he's right. Because the fact is, what he's asking for is a clampdown on freedom of speech. Because if you have anti-blasphemy laws, well then, who gets to be the arbiter of what is right or wrong when it comes to questioning any religion?
And where does it stop, man? Where does it stop this?
Well, that's the thing. So my suggestion would be that also, I guess it won't happen under this Labour government, is that everyone and anyone who asks for this, well, it's time for mass deportations. If you don't align with the values of the United Kingdom, well, clear out, go and live somewhere where...
Oh, strong talk, Andy. What do you think of that?
It's ridiculous.
Why?
If you don't align with the values, then you can be deported. That's an authoritarian suggestion. That's absolutely ridiculous.
I think the general public in Mansfield, where you're from, never forget your roots, Andy, would probably agree with them.
I don't think the people of Mansfield would believe in mass deportations for people that don't align with every single value of this country. I think.
Well, it's not every.
You think back in Mansfield, back in 84, 85, one of the British values is respecting, authorities, respecting the government, respecting the police. There were some pretty big riots during the miners' strike. Do you think they should be deported?
What's that got to do with it?
Well, you say if you don't align with the values, you should be mass deported. That's ridiculous.
The UK has very simple.
It's a silly suggestion to be mass deported if you don't agree with the values.
I think what Iman is alluding to, and correct me if I'm wrong, is if you come from a different culture, different background, a different country, and you don't want to adapt to our way of life, respect our history, our heritage,
what are you
our
doing
culture,
then?
our laws, our way of life. What the hell are you doing here?
So it's some kind of dog whistle anti-multiculturalism.
Oh,
Is that what it is?
Well,
just say it if you believe it.
It is. I'll say it. Look, multiculturalism has failed. What this country needs is what we have. I saw firsthand in India just last week, pluralism.
That's absolute rubbish.
How is it rubbish?
The fact that you can sit next to me...
Was you in India last week? So why can it be absolute rubbish?
It's absolute rubbish that multiculturalism has failed.
It has failed.
The fact that we can sit next to here, we're different religions, we're from different backgrounds.
That's not multiculturalism.
It absolutely is. That is the definition of multiculturalism.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
This is multiculturalism right here.
So are you saying to me that I belong to a different culture than yours?
Yes, because you're a different religion. It's a different culture.
That's a pretty big thing to say.
No, it's not. It's a different religion. There's different cultures within religions.
That's religion. I'm talking about culture. Culturally, I'm very similar to you. I'm sitting here in a pub, sharing a drink with you, with Lee.
Yeah. With the Union flag socks on.
That's culture.
Culture is linked to religion.
How is it linked to religion?
It's absolutely ridiculous to suggest that it isn't.
So are you saying that a white British person cannot become a Sikh?
No.
Well, you just did.
No, I didn't.
You said religion is linked to culture.
Yes, it is. Culture is linked to religion. Of course, it is.
So are you saying
culture is linked to lots of things? Socioeconomic background.
Are you saying the man's a different culture to you?
Yes, obviously he is.
I think
he's British.
You're a different culture to me because you're from Sutton and I'm from Mansfield. Culture is such a fluid thing.
Culture is made up.
It's ridiculous to suggest that religion is not made up of religion. Of course it is.
Culture is made up of what a civilizational fabric is made up of. That can be people from all different backgrounds, people who look different, but ultimately they align with one national identity. That's
not what culture means.
It is.
You can have pub culture, you can have football culture. Culture isn't limited to
what I've just said,
national identity.
It is because either you're British or you're not.
I suppose that's true. That
so
not in terms of culture. Culture is not just national identity. No,
it is. What defines someone who is British?
We're not.
It's not skin colour.
We're never going to agree.
What defines someone that's British? Their passport. That's what defines.
No, it really is.
Yes,
and that's what's caused a lot of our problems.
No, it hasn't.
Listen, we're never going to agree on that. I think more dog whistle politics from the Labour representative on.
I'm not the Labour representative.
Well, not
for reference.
Big Labour supporter.
Our resident left dweller.
Our left in the corner is he's on the wrong course again. No surprise there. Aman, this is your first time on the show.
It is a pleasure to be here.
So it's the yes or no quiz. So you can only answer yes or no. There's no verbal ticks allowed, no ers, no ahs. You've got to be a yes or no. At the end of the quiz, you can come back to one of the questions and qualify your answer. Are you ready for this, Andy?
Yes.
Right, okay. So number one, Andy, is it okay to criticise a religion?
Yes.
Aman?
Yes.
Good start. Aman, should net zero be scrapped?
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm. Andy, will Donald Trump stop the war in Ukraine?
No.
Aman?
Yes.
Andy, is net zero costing jobs?
No.
Are you sure? Aman?
Yes.
And last final question. Aman, should Ed Miliband stand in Ashfield at the next general election against me?
Yes.
No.
5-5, it's a draw. Great debut, by the way. Well done for that. But the competition wasn't very stiff this week, was it? Anyway, do you want to come back on one, Andy?
I think the last one, the suggestion that Ed Miliband should stand. Are you even re-standing at the next election, Luke?
Yeah, I think I probably will. Yeah,
I mean, he's dedicated to Doncaster South, as you know.
Doncaster North, actually.
Doncaster North.
Yeah, has he ever been to Doncaster North? I'll have to check that out.
I'm sure he has many times.
I
don't think he's going to jump.
I would love to go against him on a net zero platform because I know I'd beat him.
Well, single issue voting isn't a healthy way to run an election campaign.
Really?
You shouldn't.
Really?
You shouldn't really. I mean, we saw how that went in 2019.
Yeah,
the failures of that government.
We've seen how a few Labour MPs have been elected on single issues. Amanda, do you want to come back on one?
Yes, I think I'll go in the net zero one, if I may. I think, look, we need to put Britain's national interest first.
Yeah.
When it comes to industry, when it comes to creation of jobs, when it comes to energy security, well, we ought to be A, excavating more of our own energy needs, and B, gradually weaning off ourselves from despots in the Middle East, from importing their oil. We should be talking more with Canada and the US about their supplies. And most of all, I think it's about A, encouraging people to be able to put food on their table, but also not freezing our grannies.
And would you stop Lammy flying around the world upsetting people?
I think
he's not here to defend himself, by the way.
He's not here to.
Andy is.
Well, Andy is. But yeah, I mean, look, I think Lammy has been probably the biggest mistake this government has made in putting him up as Foreign Secretary. Let's not forget, the first show when he went into the FCO, I'm an old FCO hand, he went in there, did a video saying, I am here as Britain's first black Foreign Secretary.
And what's that got to do with his job?
Exactly. Well, he got that wrong as well because James Cleverly was the first.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
African origin.
Andy, you're looking confused. You're looking bewildered. I don't know what they've put in there this week, but you're looking battered and bruised, mate.
It's just a bizarre line to go down, going after David Lammy's slight quirks in his language.
Slight quirks.
I think he's doing.
He's supposed to be our biggest diplomat. He's supposed to say, "I'm the British Foreign Secretary. I'm here to represent British national interest."
You look at. I think if you look,
guys, I've got to stop you.
The stuff he's doing in London against dirty money, I think is.
I've got to stop before it gets physical.